You are now listening to The Couch on 24/7 Miami with your hosts, Chubby Dubby, Clem December,
December, it's Clem time.
and your boy Coleman.
Coleman, I had the most absurd nightmare. I was poor and no one liked me.
Let's go.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. It.
Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team. We take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl, 'cause we're the Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins.
That is right. The Miami Dolphins are back.
Welcome to The Couch.
Welcome to the couch. You are with Matt and Coleman. Our dear friend Manny is not with us.
Just not in the studio today.
Right, I didn't mean it like that. But yeah, Dolphins are back, man. Huge win. Huge comeback win. Second half shutout against the defending runner-ups, Matt Ryan, the Atlanta Falcons. So that was huge. That was huge because that Dolphins were probably down on themselves. Like, they were still only 2-2, but like offense was not looking great. And that was a good win moving forward. Now we're 3-2. Just beat the Falcons. Coming back home, should beat the Jets at home, be 4-2, and we'll get going.
I have to make an admission. I was not near a television set that was broadcasting the Dolphins game. I was still in the District of Columbia, and all they had on was the Redskins. But I was able to see some highlights. Definitely look at the box score.
I mean, the first half, it was like, oh my God, here we go again. 17-0. Can't move the ball. Can't stop them from scoring. And then I don't know what happened at halftime. Something happened. Our defense is good. I mean, I didn't super surprised that we shut them out. I mean, I'm surprised we shut them out in the second half.
Yeah.
But I mean, our defense is definitely better than our offense. But the offense came alive, scored 20 second half points, and the defense shut them out, and it was awesome.
And remember, last week, I sort of went over like the different sort of like defensive and offensive rankings of the two teams. They was scoring just over 10 points a game, and Atlanta was scoring over 26 points per game. And so I thought that there would absolutely be no way that Miami would be able to, I would say, stop them enough. I definitely didn't think that they were going to hold them to 17 points. But the defense is good. The offense still looks bad to me. And they still, so after this game, so they scored 20, they're averaging I think the average is up to 12 now.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at statistically throughout the league, Miami is still last in points per game, last in yards per game, last in passing yards per game, rushing yards per game. So
There
not
we
last
go.
in every single statistical category.
That's because the Giants just had 130.
Right. Before that, probably dead last. So yeah, I think I saw what I did end up seeing from the game, other than just the highlights or whatever, but I was on the plane and I saw the interception happen. The game-sealing interception for Rashad Jones.
Right, Rashad Jones.
Who, born and raised in Atlanta, so that was like a homecoming game for him of sorts. But I'm not willing. It's an encouraging game. Like you said, it's the defending Super Bowl runner-up, the NFC champions from last year. They won. A W is a W.
A road W. I don't think the Falcons have won in that brand new stadium yet.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many games they've played. I know that they've lost back-to-back home games to the Bills and now the Dolphins.
Right.
So, but yeah, I know it's a good win. You're right. Like, the offense, 20 points still isn't a whole lot of points.
It's enough, and obviously, I mean, it got the job done. But you look at Cutler, who 19 of 33 for 151 yards. Like, this guy's it's 151 yards.
Right, I know. Like I said, Jay Ajayi had 130. But, hey, if the defense is going to be this good and hold the Falcons to 17 points, then things are pointing north.
And there's something weird going on with the Falcons that I'm not, I don't totally understand what's going on there, but I think Julio Jones so far through all the games has 0 red zone targets.
I think he's probably still dealing with a hip thing because he wasn't a factor.
Right. Devontae Freeman wasn't really a factor. Nobody was really a factor, And so the one area where the Dolphins do, or I guess would say are susceptible, is in the passing game. So they're giving up a lot of passing yards. They're not giving up a lot of rushing yards. So they're not giving up a lot of points either. They're 3rd in points per game. Per game. They're 22nd in passing yards through the air as opposed to a different kind of passing yards, but they're actually 4th in rushing yards per game. So that you can't run on this Dolphins team.
Right. So yeah, like I said, you held the Falcons to 17 points, 0 in the second half. Good win for the Dolphins. I think everyone 3-2, or is the Patriots 4-2 in the division?
I think the Patriots are 4-2. They're the only ones without a bye so far,
right? And the Bills have been off. And okay, so there we go. We're a half a game out of first place in the division, and that is a blessing considering how the Dolphins have looked in the first 5 games.
Yeah, I would say they're lucky to be where they are with the way that they've looked, but certainly, the Titans win wasn't exactly inspiring. All 3 of these wins have been sort of like, they've been right down to the very nail biters, like could have potentially gone a different way.
Right.
Obviously, the Chargers, if Koo makes the kick,
Young Ho Koo.
By the way, he's
no longer right.
Sorry, he's still with
us.
Rest
in peace. Yeah, he's no longer with us.
He's no longer the kicker though.
For the San Diego Chargers. And that's what the Chargers 6 until they got a win recently. They got a win, and then it was close against the Titans, who were playing with Matt Castle. Not super encouraging wins, but Falcons beat the Falcons, second half shutout. That's a good win. One more time.
3-2. We'll take it. Like I said, the W's a W. You got to take it. Try not to poo-poo on everything that everybody does all the time, but
I know.
It doesn't look great.
I know.
It's not pretty.
I know. Go Dolphins. All right. Moving on to the largest story in the NFL potentially is how the season is over because Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers broke his collarbone. They might call Brett Favre, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
He's doing shaving commercials and throwing footballs to his dog.
I guarantee you, Brett Favre still does some quarterback drills in his backyard. Brett Favre stays ready for that phone call.
He's got the van set up with the tripod. And he's throwing a football over the mountains.
Over the mountains, quarter mile. Brett Favre stays ready. Aaron Rodgers is out. News for okay. I don't want to. Obviously, I didn't bring that up to talk about what does it mean for the Packers? Obviously, it means that's bad for the Packers, and we'll see what Brett Hundley can do. Brett Hundley now. Basically, what happens now is Brett Hundley plays for his next contract. Did
Brett Hundley finish that game? That's a game that I wasn't able to see.
Yeah, he did.
And did he look okay?
I didn't really see it. I didn't see much of it.
They didn't score a lot of points. I know that they were playing the Vikings defense
23-10.
That's not exactly a great situation for Hundley to have to come in there, especially thinking there's absolutely no chance that I'm gonna that Aaron Rodgers is going to get hurt today. I'm going to have to go in.
He only went 18 of 33, 157 yards, a touchdown, 3 picks.
Yeah.
Sacked 4 times. So it didn't look great. So he will have an opportunity the rest of the year, unless he gets pulled, to do the old Matt Flynn and play well and convince someone to give him $50 million.
Yeah, Matt Flynn only had 1 game to do it, too.
Right. And he threw 6 touchdowns, though.
Yeah.
No, I bring it up because I had this conversation, and I want to ask you, if a guy loses Aaron Rodgers on his fantasy team, is that the worst thing in the world? I feel like quarterbacks are kind of like a dime a dozen. And, I don't know. Not everyone – yeah, Aaron Rodgers is giving you 30 points that you're not everyone is getting that from their quarterback. But at the same time, only 2 other guys are getting that from their quarterback if you have Tom Brady and maybe Drew Brees. So you're not you were ahead in the field, but you're not going to be behind the field if you're starting a Carson Wentz or someone else who's getting 20 points. I don't know. Me and my friend got in a heated conversation.
Heated argument.
No,
Over
not
fantasy
argument. It was a
football.
heated conversation about if his I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to lose your quarterback. It's the worst thing in the world to lose like David Johnson, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown. I think quarterback you can replace.
Yeah, I would largely agree with that. It depends on obviously how the league is set up. If it's like a 12 or 14 team, it depends on the scoring. Because there's, like you said, who's out there doing it? It's Deshaun Watson, it's Tom Brady, and it's Aaron Rodgers.
Right now, yeah, exactly. I have
pretty much.
I have Drew. I want to say Drew Brees, but honestly, I have Drew Brees. He is not doing that right
now.
No.
No. And the Saints just put up 50-something points, and I think he had 1 touchdown. So a lot of fantasy owners were looking at that screen like 50 points. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of points today.
Nope. Their defense scored 3 touchdowns.
Right.
And so, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's a salvageable situation, especially if you are in single quarterback leagues.
Yeah, which
you're
it
in
is.
A double quarterback league, that is where things can get hairy.
I agree, but no, it's a single quarterback league, and I'm like, dude, your season's not over.
Yeah.
I mean,
it should be fine.
Yeah, I think he's 2-4, I think, but so am I. And I don't think my season's over, but I didn't lose my quarterback. Actually, you know what? Yeah, it sucks. Sorry, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Games around the league. Anything we talked about that Saints Lions? It was 52-38.
Nice.
So that's always something you can count on from a Saints Lions game.
There was a weird trend this weekend of underdogs either winning outright or covering the spread. I believe that underdogs this weekend were 11-2 against the spread.
Against the spread, nice.
6 of them winning outright. So you had like the Bears beating the Ravens. Obviously, the situation with the Packers was weird, but still, the Packers were favored. You have the Vikings beating the Packers. Lions. You have the Cards beating the Bucks. Chargers over Raiders. I don't know exactly where that was. Steelers over the Chiefs. That's actually one of the games that I was able to see some of while I was flying through the air.
You know what they say.
Due to technology.
You know what they say, right? Good teams win, great teams cover. And the best teams win and cover. I was actually,
so all of the talk the last couple of weeks has been about Ben Roethlisberger. Is it time for him to hang it up? He's not very good. And then, Steelers beat the Chiefs, who were the last remaining undefeated team in the NFL.
Yeah, it was 19-13. It was a good football game. Roethlisberger, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 17-25, 252.
Right, but when you look at that Chiefs
Le'Veon
team,
Bell carried the ball 32 times.
Nice.
They pounded the ball. He had 180 yards. That's what they did to the Chiefs was they held the ball and they kept that offense off the field.
Right.
And Chiefs had 12 points. I don't know how they got there.
But so it's funny though how last weekend it's Ben Roethlisberger, what's wrong with him, whatever. And then this weekend he doesn't even have all that great of a game, but the Steelers win, and it's like, never mind.
That's how the NFL goes. Every week is like you suck and then you're great. You suck and then you're great. The Dolphins can barely beat the Matt Castle Titans, and then we go on the road and second half shut out the Atlanta Falcons. It's like you can never expect anything in the NFL.
That's why it's a great league. It's so unpredictable.
Right, and that's why I think the NFL playoff is the best playoff that there is in sports, other than the NCAA basketball tournament. That's my favorite playoff in sports. But, just NFL playoffs, you have a shot at winning the Super Bowl. If you make the NBA playoffs, you do not every team has a shot. As we have seen in the last shot at the finals.
Yeah.
And really in the East, in the last decade, only one guy has a shot at the finals.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that I agree with that so much this year, but we'll get into that a little bit later. We're going to have a little NBA segment,
right? Because the NBA starts tonight.
That is correct.
But NFL, and yeah, you mentioned everything changes. Dolphins go from low lifes to world beaters. Like It's the NFL, man.
And another thing was what's wrong with Eli Manning? What's wrong with the Giants? We talked about this last week. Is Ben McAdoo going to get the axe here pretty soon? And then they go on Sunday Night Football and beat the Broncos 23-10.
Right. Was it on the road too?
It was in Denver, yes.
Right. So they go on the road. They beat Denver. Dolphins go on the road. They beat Atlanta. That game was nice for me. That Denver game was nice for me because I was going against McManus, who missed a field goal, and then he only made one other field goal this week, kind of because of that.
So that game, Denver was a 13-point favorite. In the Atlanta-Miami game, Atlanta was around a 13-point favorite. That's the first time that two 13-point favorites or higher home in the same week in the NFL in the last 30 years.
Wow, you dig deep for that one.
Mm-hmm.
That was impressive. So you never know in the NFL.
But I still don't think that the Giants are fixed. They figured out basically the same sort of thing. We're just going to run the ball like crazy. Eli Manning only completed 11 passes. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
11.
Yeah.
They just had, but Denver's defense was number one against the rush before that game, and then you had Orleans Darkwa running all over the place for 117 yards, 20-something times. I don't necessarily think that the Giants are fixed, but one thing that did happen was, and it was said to have happened because of what stemmed with Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie in the middle of the week, being suspended for an argument that they had or something like that. But what happened was McAdoo gave up his play calling.
Right.
And
heard about that.
And all of a sudden the Giants win a game.
And they win a game.
Don't look quite so incompetent out there.
I guess all they had to do was wait for Orleans Darkwa to get back and just give him the ball every time. Game plan, and
it worked.
Another thing I wanted to get to before we go to break, just an interesting stat about the week. Became the first rookie quarterback ever in Baltimore.
Huh.
Quarterback has never won a game in Baltimore, which I think Ben Roethlisberger went 15-1 when he was a rookie.
The lone loss
had to have been.
Oh.
So that was a stat. Rams. Good. Rams are 4-2.
Rams have the highest scoring offense in the NFL currently.
Well, highest points per game, maybe.
Yes.
Well, their special teams and defense scored 2 touchdowns this week.
I understand that. I'm just saying offense, points per game.
Points per game,
whatever.
Yeah. No, you're right. I'm just saying I don't know how prolific that offense is.
Yeah.
All right. So that was week 6 in the NFL. All right. And we'll come back with quick hits.
We'll be right back on the couch, just in time for you to get a cold one.
Welcome back to the couch. This upcoming segment is brought to you by Now Trending News with a Twist. Every Monday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. live on 247 Miami Radio. Follow them at Now Trending 247 on Twitter. News with a Twist. Coming up next, quick hits. Quick hits.
Okay, time for quick hits, and I will start it. And I will start it with Tiger Woods because I am kind of excited that Tiger Woods was for full golf activities with no restrictions from the doctor that performed his back fusion surgery.
Nice. I saw a video of him swinging a golf club, but I wasn't sure exactly what that was all about.
No, yeah, it looked nice, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So he's back. I think he's got his swagger back. I think Tiger has his swagger back. He is now dating like someone that used to work at one of his restaurants. So that's kind of right up his alley.
Yeah.
So
a Perkins waitress.
Yeah. So Tiger's got. I think he's a manager. I think he's a manager. He's got a little more class than that. But not that that's not classy. Okay, moving on. Baby, Tiger's
Nice.
back.
I like to root for Tiger Woods. I think golf's better when he's in it.
Oh yeah.
We got to go back to the NFL for a little bit here,
Okay.
just for a quick little hit. Ezekiel Elliott. The suspension was reinstated today. The NFLPA filed a motion that was actually denied by the United States Circuit Court of Appeals.
Right, because what are they going to do? Flip flop what they just decided?
Right. So basically, the suspension has been reinstated.
I love how I love how Zeke gets suspended, then he gets the injunction. Then they get the injunction lifted, and then they're like, "Oh well, we're just gonna try and get it put back."
Right.
It's like, all right, come on.
Well, so now the point that it's reached is so the the Circuit Court of Appeals dismissed the motion that they filed today. But what they have is they have one last step which they filed today, which is a restraining order in United States, New York. It's basically the last time they're trying to file a temporary restraining order against the NFL from enforcing this.
Right.
And if they decide,
a restraining order on the suspension itself.
Right. And if they don't approve that game suspension, that's basically, I think that's his last legal avenue.
It's got to be it. It's got to be it.
I think it might be. So, and I don't know, like a lot of it has to do with basically like what they're claiming is Roger Goodell using his power incorrectly, although we see Roger Goodell can sort of use his power basically however he wants to.
Yeah, well, it's in the CBA that he's judge, jury, executioner.
Right.
So, and how about life pulling a KD with the burner Twitter accounts? Did you hear about this?
No, I did not.
Oh, dude. Yeah, it came out that Roger Goodell's wife is either on Instagram or on Twitter with fake accounts defending the Roger Goodell critics.
Oh, nice.
Or defending Roger Goodell against his critics.
Right.
So pulling a page out of old KD's book. Actually, I saw a picture of her and the caption didn't say Goodell. The caption was like Roger Goodell and his wife like so-and-so, but they didn't say Goodell, which leads me to believe that she doesn't care for his last name, which kind of, it's like, man card.
I don't know. I mean, I have lots of friends that don't change their last name. I don't think it really means a whole lot anymore.
My sister didn't change her name.
So,
but still, come on. I mean, come on. You're Roger Goodell. Your wife should have your name. Yeah. Who knows? Touchy?
No.
Okay.
I just don't know.
2017.
Right. I just don't necessarily agree. I don't disagree.
No, I know. Okay.
You got another one?
I got that Aaron Judge is being. Everyone's like in awe of Aaron Judge because he's in front of the TVs during the playoffs, and he is just being the most humble person ever. He is just like, oh, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah.
This is a dream come true to play in the ALCS with the Yankees, this and that, and I'm just happy to be here, and I'm just happy to be here. And
he is. I mean, he is kind of not disparagingly. He's kind of a big oaf.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He kind of looks. Like
he looks oafy.
Kind of looks kind of like an inbred. I don't know. He's got this look to him that's kind of off.
I wasn't going that far.
But
I was just saying
he kind of looks like an inbred, but still not that young. He's kind of. It's taken him. I don't know how it's taken him so long to get to the major league, but he's like 26, 27, 28 years old maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not this young guy. But yeah, he's coming off as very humble, and everyone's liking Aaron Judge right now. So and he hit a home run, and he made like. Nice plays in the outfield last night. One catch up against the wall, and then one diving catch coming in. So yeah, Aaron. I got Aaron Judge. He's Aaron Judge is humble, and everyone likes Aaron Judge right now. That's who's everyone like right now? Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge. Nice. So this week, I don't know if you remember, a few weeks ago, I think almost exactly 3 weeks ago. Rick Pitino was placed on administrative leave, dismissed from the team. Louisville officially fired him today or yesterday after the FBI investigation that revealed his alleged role in helping high school athletes companies. The Louisville Athletic Association board voted unanimously on the firing. Pitino has argued that he had no knowledge of any wrongdoing in the situation, and Louisville has no right to fire him and withhold the $44 million they still owe him.
$44 million.
Yeah.
And is that a number that like he's owed and he'll either get all or nothing, or I wonder if he'll maybe get like 15 of that or something.
I don't think he'll get any of it.
Because that's a big number.
So that's for the remainder of the contract. You know what I mean? For however many years were left on the deal. $4 million and however many left on it. So obviously he's not going to be paid all of it. He's saying that he deserves all of it because he didn't know anything.
Which is, I mean, dude, that's part of the problem. Time that you don't know anything and you need to know what's going on around your program.
Last time it was the hookers and the strippers. This time it's the
shoe companies. Coming around, giving all your assistant coaches all this money to give out to students, or to give out to not even students, to give out to your basketball players, because half of them are only on campus for 9 months.
Well, and I think a lot of that was to give to sort of
and like ensure that they'll sign with Adidas later.
Right. Well, hey, not only are you visiting the school, but you commit to us, and you'll get a little, you know what I'm saying, a little shoe kickback from Adidas.
Right.
You know
yeah.
I mean?
So Adidas is, and yeah, I think college basketball is worse than college football in terms of like the scandalous recruiting, because I don't know, basketball players are way more marketable at first. You know what I mean? Like the freshmen that go to Kentucky, like freshman football players don't make a huge impact right away. So I think the basketball recruits are so much more highly touted that you have and USC and Auburn, all these teams doing these things, which let's be honest.
Everyone's doing some of it.
All the big money sports, football, basketball, I don't know about baseball, but the two money sports, everyone's recruiting, everyone's giving a little here, giving a little there. It's the big people. It's the prostitution and the multi-million-dollar shoe scams that get you caught.
Right. And just to the point that you said that they're more marketable, and they only have to spend 1 year there before they actually get to the next level, if they are going to make it to the next level. You know, like I'm agreeing with you. Like the basketball is that's who they want. That's who they're trying to reel in, is the big basketball fish.
Right.
So they can immediately, you see them, they're on the court,
and they play right away.
Right. They play right away. So that's for sure.
I don't right now.
Okay. Quick UCF update. I'll just rattle through some things here. UCF, the Knights, remained undefeated this weekend with a 63-21 victory over the East Carolina Pirates to go to 5-0 on the season. 20th in the AP poll.
We need imaging for your UCF update.
I know.
Yeah.
I'll have to work on that.
The Gators lost to Texas A&M. That was tough.
Yeah, that's rough. Next up for UCF is Navy. Rob Ryan news.
Rob Ryan news,
Did
please.
You think we were going to get any Rob Ryan news? Rex and Rob Ryan news.
I was hoping we would. I didn't think we would, but I was hoping we would.
Did you see the video back in June of my beautiful, handsome, lovely NFL brothers getting into an altercation?
Like a bar fight in Nashville or
at
something?
a Margaritaville in Nashville.
Yeah.
Where they allegedly assaulted a fellow patron who refused to leave their table. Police report for simple assault, and officials opened an investigation. But you'll be happy to know the district attorney has declined to move forward with the charges.
Oh, thank God.
Thank God.
Yeah, so
Rex and Rob keep going to Margaritaville and beating up customers.
Yeah, and Rex can continue to be monotone on ESPN.
Yeah.
Even though he's kind of I'm getting used to him. These commercials that they're running, the between two Rexes, they're funny.
I'm not familiar with that.
You're not familiar with that?
I saw him do his first broadcast, but after that I haven't seen a whole lot of it.
You're obviously familiar with Between Two Ferns,
yes,
with Zach Galifianakis.
Yes.
So this is, but it's just like 30-second NFL countdown commercials, and he had Randy Moss, and he does the same thing Zach Galifianakis does, where he's like kind of like awkward and distant, and like disruptive. But yeah, it's funny. You'll see him.
Okay. I just haven't seen him yet. And like I said, I was away from the TV a lot this weekend.
So. One weekend. It's been going on for 2 weeks.
George Foreman news.
Uh-huh.
Did you see that he recently challenged Steven Seagal to a fight, no holds bar style?
I heard about that.
He went on Twitter and said, "1-on-1, I use boxing. You can use whatever. 10 rounds in Vegas." Sanction something like this, being is that hey, you do karate, I'll do boxing. I don't know who exactly has to get involved there, but Michael Buffer weighed in saying, "My money is on George, even though Steven outweighs him by 1,000 pounds."
What a jab by Michael Buffer.
Yeah.
I wonder if God has like personal little weight issues, like not that he has weight issues, but he just like feels kind of chubby, and Michael Buffer knows that.
Maybe
and that was just a jab, like just a low key, like deep dagger.
Well, Steven Seagal was on some sort of outlet talking crazy like not too long ago. I think that's what probably like prompted George Foreman to be like, hey, let's fight. You know what I mean? Because he was over there talking nuts about the Kremlin and Vladimir Putin, saying that he was his buddy and he was fine and all this stuff. But he looked a little puffy.
And Steven Seagal is a weird fella.
Oh, yeah. He said that he taught Anderson Silva how to fight. He's got all kinds of like strange.
Right.
He's sort of like that's what it is. It's like
the Chuck Norris type things.
Yeah. Except I feel like he says them about himself.
Right.
He's the one that comes up with them. You know, Chuck Norris isn't saying like
right. Those are just
Chuck Norris punches God or whatever.
Right.
He's saying like, I'm Steven Seagal. I taught Anderson Silva his deadly moves, stuff like that. And then to bring us into which is we're going to do a little thing in the beginning that we usually do, but then we're going to get into the NBA. Did you see Greg Popovich has weighed in on the president?
Yeah, this most recent one, I haven't. In the past, Greg Popovich has not been afraid to voice his opinions about this administration.
Okay. So right. And he's not, I don't feel like a lot of coaches have this sort of clout in their jobs that they would be able to basically say whatever it is that they were feeling. And
whatever it is. Like that guy says whatever he wants.
Right. And like it doesn't matter. And even Spurs owners, I'm pretty certain, are supporters of Donald Trump. And it doesn't matter. Like, they're not going to fire him. He's not going to get fired. They're not going to do anything. But so what happened was Donald Trump had been criticized recently for the 4 U.S. soldiers who were killed in an ambush in Niger on October 4th. Yesterday, he decided to call out former presidents, claiming that he is more caring with families and fallen soldiers. It's basically stating that he's the first one that's ever called family, that the previous administrations had not done it. He's the one that did it. That's not true.
That can't be true.
Nope, that is factually false. So Greg Popovich weighed in and called him a pathological liar and a soulless coward for the comments he made. That's pretty crazy. He also went on to say, this man in the Oval Office is the soulless coward who thinks that he can only become large by belittling others. This has, of course, been a common practice of his, but to do it in this manner and to lie about how previous presidents responded to the deaths of soldiers is as low as it gets. Liar in the White House, unfit intellectually, emotionally, and physically to hold office, and the whole world knows it, especially those around him every day.
Yeah, wow.
Flamethrower.
Yeah, like torched. That was as well as it could be said. He said he's not emotionally, mentally, emotionally capable, which is true. That is so true, because he gets so triggered off of anyone that he goes on his Twitter account. And I said this last week, like, Donald Trump's Twitter account blows my mind. It blows my mind the things he tweets. It blows my mind the fact that the other day he literally tweeted no one could have done as good as I did in Puerto Rico.
Right.
Like, dude, that's not what's important. What's important is Puerto Rico, not you. And he just doesn't get that stuff. And, I'm not surprised that he says something like, I'm the first president to call a soldier's family.
Right.
And you hear, I saw the other day that he claimed that he made up the word fake. Oh. He invented the word fake. He said, he's like, I'm pretty sure I'm the first one to say fake. That's what he said. I'm the first one to ever say fake.
Okay.
So,
well, anyways, it see somebody who is untouchable, whatever. Normally you can't pop off like that. And even though maybe he's not at risk for getting fired, there's a lot of people who probably aren't at risk at getting fired, but aren't how they feel about the situation that's going on in the White House.
Yes, you're right. He's pretty.
Props to Greg Popovich.
Yeah, props. He is about as high in order as it gets. I think up there with him would just be Belichick, but I'm pretty sure Belichick is a Trump guy, not
Yeah.
necessarily a Trump guy, but I know Bill Belichick's a Republican. That him and Brady both, I think, donated to the Trump campaign.
Yeah, Brady had one of those red hats in his locker one time.
Right. So I mean,
we're not. I'm not attacking anybody. It's just like if you see the stuff that's going on
but
there.
Bill, like I was just getting at, like Bill Belichick would be another kind of guy that, like, one, could say whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And two.
Yeah.
But I don't. First, Bill Belichick and Greg Popovich are, while having very similar coaching philosophies in terms of keep everything in-house, don't explain much to the media. In terms of social issues, Popovich has been a lot more outspoken.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't really heard anything from Belichick, which I'm not blaming him for.
Right.
A lot of coaches or a lot of people are staying away from that.
Yeah, of course.
You can't blame him for that. But yeah, props to Popovich. Steve Kerr's been the same way.
Yeah.
One thing that's been good is you've got organizations like the Seahawks and I want to say the Trailblazers that have actually done things like the Seahawks don't like ask their players, what organizations can we donate money to? So they're actually doing something versus like, it's all getting blown out of proportion because Trump made Kaepernick's stance something different. And now you got Jerry Jones telling his players they have to stand. I want to see more owners like say, okay, you know what? Yeah, what can we do to help?
Right. So up next, we will be discussing the NBA.
Les Grossman.
We don't get money yet. Price now 100 million. You pay now or tomorrow Simple Jack die.
Great. Let me get this down. 100 million. Oh, wait. I got a better idea.
Stay tuned to the couch on 247miami.tv.
Instead of 100 million, how about I send you a hobo's cheese?
Then you kill him. Do your thing. Skin the
Go to town, man. Go to town.
No.
In the meantime, and as usual, go yourself.
Okay, welcome back to the couch. Best hour of the week. The couch is broadcast on 247 Miami.tv. Another. Oh, you did now trending already, didn't you? Broadcast. This is 247 Miami.tv. Sorry, I thought this was new trending. Now trending. Okay, moving on. 247 Miami.tv, broadcasting the events of this amazing city to the world. Follow on Twitter at 247 Miami. Like 247 Miami on Facebook. Follow 247 Miami on Instagram. And the couch is on, it replays on 247 Miami, but you can also watch our videos on YouTube. You can find the link on the link in bio on the couch_radio on Instagram.
And the couch_Miami on Twitter.
On Twitter. So there you go. And now it's time for Steve Bojack.
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
Goodbye, Mama. Now you can have ice cream in heaven. I'll see you tonight when I go to bed in my head movies. But this head movie makes my eyes rain.
You went full retard, man. Retard.
Correct, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to what is rumored to be favorite segment.
Okay, went down a different road there.
Simple Jack. This week's Simple Jack is brought to us courtesy of the Associated Press out of Bismarck, North Dakota. That's where Wiz Khalifa's from.
Bismarck, North Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that.
Bet you didn't know that.
Well, I know that he is. He traveled as a kid. He's like a military kid.
Okay.
And then, but I know he reps Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
Doesn't have to be where you were born from. A man was arrested this weekend in Bismarck for possession of drugs after police witnessed him attempting to ignite a gas pump in order to light his cigarette. An officer happened to be driving by the gas station when he spotted 29-year-old Skylar Whitebull trying to light the pump. Obviously instructed him to stop doing that. He refused to put down the pump. He finally, after some coaxing, he decided to put down the pump and took a fighting stance. The officer was able to subdue the man after a brief struggle, but Whitebull continued to resist and flail even while being handcuffed. Police searched him and found several small empty bags in his pocket with methamphetamine residue. Of methamphetamine and resisting arrest.
Excellent, excellent. Wait, he was like holding a lighter to a gas pump, trying to like spray the lighter with the gas to make like a flame?
I don't have a picture of what happened, but when I read that, that's what I'm picturing.
Right.
He's got like the cigarette in his mouth, he's got a lighter in one hand, and he's got the gas pump in the other one, and he's like kind of doing something like this.
Right, that's what I'm picturing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, hey, I mean, why not just use the lighter that you're lighting the gas with?
Yeah,
But, hey,
well, that's why he landed on this week's Simple Jack.
I mean, you know, methamphetamine.
Also,
Don't do it.
Also in Bismarck, North Dakota, you're probably just like, yeah, you know what? Cigarette with this lighter a million times. There's nothing really else to do in this town. Maybe I'll go try and use a gas pump.
Yeah, maybe. I'm
so
just not sure how my day's going today. Maybe see if I can go blow up a gas station.
That is right. The NBA kicks off tonight.
Tonight, opening night.
Heat start tomorrow night, aka Wednesday night.
That's right.
And I'm fired up for the Heat this year.
The Heat are opening up tomorrow at 7 p.m. against the Orlando Magic at the Amway Center. Is that still called the Amway Center?
I believe so.
The Amway Center in Orlando.
They could change it. I wouldn't know.
But
tonight's a big night.
We've got a doubleheader on TNT. There's a lot of narrative in this matchup, in both of these matchups, probably more so in the first one, as we have the Boston Celtics traveling to Cleveland to take on the Kyrie Irving's former team, the Cavaliers.
Right. You have the return of Kyrie Irving. You have the debut of Dwayne Wade.
Correct, as a Cav.
You also have the Celtic debut of Gordon Hayward.
Yes.
So that's going to be an excellent game.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Then you've got the – I'm sorry, we'll continue.
No. Jason Tatum is debuting for the Celtics as well, the
right.
rookie that they took.
The rookie.
interested to see what are the fans' reactions going to be in Cleveland. Because you remember the first time when LeBron with Miami.
Yeah, but that was something different.
It was, but they were still, there was the quitter and the crybaby stuff and the signs in the stands booing every time he touched the ball, and they said that they were like throwing batteries and stuff onto the
right.
court.
LeBron said they were throwing batteries, which I did hear about. I remember the people saying stuff about that. I don't see it really being a problem. If I'm a Cavaliers fan, I'm like whatever.
And
I don't see there being much animosity towards Kyrie, considering A, he's not LeBron, and B, he chose to leave. He didn't just leave the team high and dry. He at least trade him and get Isaiah Thomas. That would be another thing. Like, if you showed a tremendous amount of animosity towards Kyrie, in a way, that would show a little lack of respect for Isaiah Thomas, because if I'm Isaiah Thomas, I would be like, I'm here, not upset that he's gone.
Maybe, but also they live in Cleveland still. They have not managed to escape.
Right, so they're not that smart.
Yeah, some of them might not be the brightest people on earth.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, I don't think that you should necessarily have animosity for somebody deciding that they change jobs and they want to go somewhere else. Like, if you don't like Cleveland, likes Boston better.
Yeah, but it doesn't sound much better.
What happened was he's been sort of jabbing, saying like it feels good to be in an actual sports city.
Yeah, that's a shot at the whole city of Cleveland.
What's the difference between that team and this team? And he said ball movement. You know what I mean? So he's been taking little jabs at Cleveland and his former organization, and
for sure taking his shots.
So I probably there. There's going to be boos a little bit. It's not going to be anything near the degree that it was when LeBron went back.
Just to wrap up that game, I just remember Ethan Skolnick told a story. He was covering LeBron. He was covering the Heat with LeBron. He was up in Cleveland for that game. It was like that was the worst, most disgusting scene fan behavior he'd ever seen.
Yeah.
The second game of the night is the world champion against the new and improved Houston Rockets, who have added Chris Paul.
Correct.
So we'll see the new backcourt of Chris Paul and James Harden, how that will work out. Be a pretty high scoring affair. That one should be fun.
Oh yeah. But you see, in that matchup, what interests me too is to see how Chris Paul and James Harden are going to be able to mesh offensively
to share the ball.
Well, and you saw so last year, James Harden probably had his most effective, because I'm not 100% certain on that, but you got him to he was playing point guard.
He led the league in assists, I think.
Right, and so he was playing more of a point guard role, whereas Patrick Beverley was playing more of a shooting guard role. And now you're going to essentially, after having 1 year of him doing that, because Chris Paul is a ball dominant, he needs the ball to do what he's doing. Chris Paul is the floor general, if you will.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's everything. Usually, when you have these teams get put together, it takes a little bit of time to mesh. But I'm certainly interested in seeing how that works out.
Yeah, that will be. I mean, you have all kinds of things across the league like that. You have the new Oklahoma City Thunder. How will that work out?
I'm super excited to see how they are going to be, because Dallas and people that work with the team that are saying, or not work with the team, that cover the team, that are saying this has the potential of being one of the highest powered offenses in the league.
And then you have with a team that I like in the East, the Timberwolves. I'm sorry, they're not in the East; they're in the West. But the Timberwolves, they got Jimmy Butler.
They still have Karl Anthony Towns.
They got they got a point guard. They got a veteran point guard. I want to say Rondo, but I don't think it was Rondo.
No, Rondo, I believe,
is on the Pelicans.
Signed with the Pelicans, but he just hurt himself. I don't know what exactly happened, but he's
no, the Timberwolves signed Jamal Crawford.
They also, I think the point guard that you're thinking of was Jeff Teague.
That might be it. Yeah.
I mean,
he's a good player.
He's okay.
He's a formidable player.
Pretty good.
Real quick, we're wrapping up here. We'll go, a little faster. Embiid, they said they're going to put Embiid on a minutes restriction, which is You just signed him. I know he's coming off surgery, but like you gotta let the guy play. I mean, how long is that minutes restriction going to go on? He says he's ready to go.
He played all of last season with a minutes restriction, and then they shut him down eventually. Not for because I think the thing that he's been injured with is a foot. It's a foot,
which is always the worst for 7 footers.
Right. Which I think he's like 7'3",
right.
Something. He's huge, but
He's huge.
I like Joel Embiid. I think he's a really good player. I think he's an awesome guy too. So I hope for the best for him. I hope that 31 games or whatever that he has played so far aren't the majority of them.
Miami Heat, 40 wins, 45 wins, 50 wins.
45, I think.
45, closer to 45.
We'll see. It's hard to really say exactly how many you are because which team are we going to get? The first half team of last season or the second half team?
Right. Well, I think the first half team was injured.
Yeah.
So as long as it's healthy, towards the second half team.
Hopefully. Because they were one of the hottest teams. I believe, what did they go? 31-10?
31-10.
31-11?
Or 30-11, I think.
30-11?
Because they ended 500.
Okay.
So 41, they went 30-11, whatever. Anyways, I expect more second half Heat than first half from last season. So this year will be very fun. You've been listening to The Couch every Tuesday night, 6:30 to 7:30, tentatively right now, on YouTube and 24/7 Miami.tv.